All right. So today I want to talk about trading and how trading came into existence. And this is going to be an introduction to trading. So we're going to dive to the early days of mankind. And because I love to tell story, guys, I'm going to tell you a cool story and how trading was coming into play. But before we dive into the cryptocurrencies and all those kind of stuff, I really want to take you back to a time when trading, wasn't a thing, and we didn't have money. We didn't have like paper money. There was no, this advanced kind of system that now we have in 21st century, or even probably back in 1800s, like to the very very old time of the Stone Age, and this is where I want to take you. Okay, all right, back to this place. Can you just look at this? This is the place that I want to take you back. And people in this time, they didn't have like clothes to wear. They didn't have a lot of stuff. Like during this era, people didn't have material that we have. They didn't have clothes to wear and fabrics and textures like we have right now. They didn't even think of smartphones, by the way. And they didn't even think that today a guy like me is going to talk about them. Right? But I am. But I'm actually recognizing them because this is where evolution started, guys. This is where evolution started from handling that spear in your hand all the way coming to handling a gun in your hand and then trading cryptocurrencies as new investors. So you can see these guys, they lived under a rock back in those days. And I just want to tell you the fact that, there are two kind of people. One type or one kind of person is the one who can bring different rocks from different places and they can build a house from a rock, right? People during this time, they didn't know what a house is. They didn't know what air conditioner is going to be like, or the fan is going to be like, or how they're going to be surviving, right? So how did they used to survive? Can you see the water on the side here? Or maybe they're looking at an animal coming to them, or maybe they're just trying to hunt something to eat something, right? And to cover up themselves, they used to cut leaves. Okay, then they have like this beautiful looking, is that I think they cut this one from a lion's skin, right? So they were wearing lion skins to cover up themselves, and to keep themselves warm they used to have like rocks. They bring rocks, fire rocks, and then they like spark them up together, bring some firewoods, and then tell stories to one another. And population wasn't even there. Population was not so enough for them to actually start a profitable business or anything. I mean, even if they had a business, where's the audience? That's something that we call volume, right? Where's the people stepping in? Where's the population coming in to buy their stuff? Who are they going to sell to? Okay, even if they had food, maybe the population was like 2, 3, 4, 5 people back in the beginning. So what? Who are you going to sell your stuff to? No one. No one is going to be interested in that. And as time advanced and it continued to grow, then potentially they might have maybe started to sell the spear to someone who didn't know how to sell spear. But that's something that I'm gonna dive into as we are progressing through the course right now. And the second type of person, the first one I said is the one that can bring materials like stones and they can start building a house and shape a house. That's the skill set they have. And then the second kind of person is the one that can make or create a house out of a stone or a rock or a cave or a mountain. You can see this is like a big stone right now, or a mountain potentially, and they have been like crawling their way. Like they use hammers and sledges to kind of like dig in and then create a space. So there are some people who are talented like that. Have you ever seen those videos on YouTube where You see the clickbait and the title say, oh, building an underground swimming pool, right? And then they go to the underground, and then they start to dig the underground, and then they bring water in, and they didn't bring anything from the outside. They just started using the nature itself, and then from the nature they started digging those kind of things. Now I know this is not cryptocurrency speech right now or anything, but this is something that is actually going to lead me to give cryptocurrency, it's going to actually make sense for this course basically. So let's look how the advancement was then. Now here we are, and moving on, we had some advancement, of course, and you can see some people, just as I said in the previous slide. This is where someone thought, okay, we don't have a rock to actually build a house, so let's go and bring in some grasses. And then they started building huts, something known as hut. They started building some boats, and then they started doing some fishing to eat something, and then population even started to increase. They had like a dog right there. They had wolves potentially, and they used to go hunting with their wolves. Now the reason why they had wolves maybe is because wolf can sense danger from a distance. It's like the guards in today's era, like we have security guards. They used to like have wolves and stuff, and we know all of these things, right? I'm just gonna give a little bit of a callback, just go back and refresh the history and how we progress to cryptocurrencies as well. So basically, it was a nice place. I would love to go back to this place a little bit, close my internet, close this stupid smartphones and bitcoins, and just go back and live with them for a little bit. Yeah, it's kind of a tough life, but it seems fun, guys. It seems fun. Like, go fishing, stay in nature, look at the birds. You're in a jungle right there, you go hunting. I mean, this is the kind of life that I would be really, really interested to actually experience. And you can see everyone is doing something. And yeah, so the advancements here, I'm going to tell you one thing. Now, during that time, it is very understandable that you can go hunting, and you can try to earn something for yourself as well. But the problem comes in that, what if you do not have there's a talent, or there's a way. For example, looking at this image, let's say this lady right here standing right there, right? She wants to go from one shore to another shore. Like, she wanted cross the river and go to the other side of the jungle, right? And what is she gonna do? Right? So that's where business started to come in, right? Between people. Let's say now let's travel to Egypt, and this is exactly what I want to tell you. So you have this lady, and then you have a boat, and then you have like this salesman or the boatsman, whatever you want to call them. Now, this set of people, 4 people right now, and this lady, they have something between them that they can exchange to benefit from, right? They can get something from her, and she can get something from them, and both the parties will just settle up, score up the business. Now she wants to go from this river to the other side of the river. Like, she needs to go to those those palm trees right there, and from here she just goes to those people, and then she says, "Hey, how you doing, guys?" And then these guys are like, "Hello, what's up?" And then she says, "I really want to get to the other side of the river. Can you help me?" Then the guys say, "We don't do anything for free. How can you pay us?" Right? And then she says, "All right." She got something. She has food, and this food basically, she got fish. She got like ginger. She got, I don't know what the hell is she carrying right now in that basket right now. And then they're like, okay, since we've built a boat and we know how to actually sail through the seas or the oceans or the river, you're gonna give like 1 or 2 kg fish, kind of, because we are like 4 people right now, and it seems like you have some bunch of things right there. Or maybe you have a gold that you have in your hand. Can you give us that one as a form of, something in return? And then they took something from her, maybe the food right now, and then she got to the other side of the shore. So basically the exchange right there is, there was a dealing between the food and then the sailors as well. The next thing that I want to give, the next example that you can give, is between a hunter and then a sailor. Now, let's say back again in the history, you can see that these people went for hunting, and they were carrying this goat. They killed a goat, and like slay a goat, hunt a goat with a hammer potentially. And then you have a cobbler, person who actually mends your shoes, and he has talent, he has skill, he has a particular skill set that can benefit the hunters, and the hunters can benefit the cobbler. But what can the cobbler, and what's the relationship between the both of them? Well, basically, the relationship between both of them is going to be that the cobbler can get something from the hunters. Now let's create another story. The hunters go to the cobbler, and then they say that, "Hey, cobbler." The cobbler be like, "Say, what's up?" He says, I'm a hunter, but I need my sandals get fixed, okay? And we don't know how to do that, and we don't have the tools right now. So what if I make a deal with you, and you fix my sandals, you sew them, okay? You take your whatever your hammer and hit on it, and then after that you're gonna take money. Sorry, not money, but basically you're gonna take meat from us, because we are hunters. We have a lot of meat right now. We got fresh meat, any kind of meat you want. The dog meat. If you want a deer meat, if you want a lion's meat, we're gonna give you that. And then the cobbler says like, "Yeah, okay, sounds good to me," right? And then they go on, and then they change something. So basically, they're gonna give meat to this guy, and this guy has a skill set for survival, and then they mend the shoes or the sandals of these hunters, even though they're not wearing, you see, they're not even wearing any sandals, because they gave it to the cobbler. And this is the sandals. Do you see the sandals on the side there? Yeah, this is the sandals right over there. So basically the next question comes, what if you don't have any skills? Right, let's go back to this story. What if the condition is the hunters, it's not necessary that the hunters go to the cobbler for their own reason of sandals. It's not important. And because they don't have any skill set, the hunters don't have, their skill is only in hunting. But what if their sandals is okay, and they need something else, right? Or if this guy who is a cobbler, he doesn't know hunting, he also doesn't know, how to fix sandals, then what is he gonna do? Okay, probably someone like a lazy guy like me in the past, who didn't have any kind of skills. What are we gonna do? Commodities. There's something that's where the introduction of commodities come in, and this is something that is super super important in today's world. And back in the days, you would give something to someone in return to get back something, right? You will be giving rice, you will give something like grain, you will give something like oil or fish, just like this lady had something. So what she had in the basket, this was commodities, right? We call them commodities. The exchange between these two people was exchange of skill set, okay? Even though the hunter was giving commodity, which is meat. Meat has a value, and I'm gonna talk about it. So he's giving meat in return of a skill set, and that's just very very fair and square. The interchange between this lady and that people was between a commodity and then a skill set. They know how to row a boat, and then they would take passengers to the other side of the shore, and then that's where this lady could have given her commodities away because she's not skillful, they were skillful, right? So that's how it was, and that's how the trading between the two people was in the very beginning. Like, I have a value, you have something to offer, we interchange, we trade between that. And moving on, I've already talked about the commodities, right? And why is commodities accepted? Why do we accept these commodities? It all comes down to intrinsic value, value like gold and silver. Even gold and silver, they are commodities. What I want to do is I want to go to Google right now, and let's actually do the definition of intrinsic value of money, right? So, what is intrinsic value? Let's do a meaning of it so that you can understand. So here we are. Intrinsic value is the perceived or calculated value of an asset, investment, or company, and is used in fundamental analysis in the options market. Uh, Actually, this is the real definition, okay? Intrinsic value is a measure of what an asset is worth, what something is worth, okay? Gold is worth something, silver is worth something, there's value in it. Rice has something, we eat rice. Maize has something, we eat them. Seeds have a value, we eat them. But do you know there's a difference? Gold has more value than the normal commodities like seeds and foods, and it also depends on the quantity. If you have like 1 kg of gold, of course it's going to be more valuable. If you have like 10 kg of gold, it's going to be even way more valuable, and silver as well, and more than the seeds. And if you have like big sack of rice, it's going to be more valuable. If you just have a bowl of rice, then that's going to be less valuable. So it also does come down to just like supply and demand, right? How much supply does it have and how much people are demanding. That's something we're going to talk about later. All right, so this is the intrinsic value of gold. Now what I want to talk about is, but what the hell is the intrinsic value of crypto? Why the hell did people started accepting cryptocurrencies? Like, it does make sense that I can accept gold. This is like, it's like I saw something in the Bible. I did Google about it. So I'm gonna tell you, did God created gold as currency, right? So in here, it's not about this one, but there was something about gold in Bible too, potentially, that they used to say that, you know, but biblical records indicate that gold and silver were the first and oldest form of money, right? So, and the gold of that land is good, right? So there is like an information that this was the gold was given a lot of value by God Himself, and then that's why people started using gold, and people accepted, coins, and in return of coins they would sell their camels away or their horses away, and that's just how. If someone didn't have any kind of skill set, they would buy something using gold. So if you had gold, it means that you have worth, you have something in your hand to actually exchange, and then the rices as well. So the intrinsic value of crypto is that cryptocurrencies have real world projects, right? Let's go back to this cobbler and the hunter story. In this cobbler and the hunter story, the cobbler had something to provide to the hunters, and his real world project was to mend shoes, and he had that particular skill set of actually telling the hunters that, hey, I can mend shoes, and that's the real world, that's the project he was working on, right? He was building something, he created something, and people, they valued it, right? So going back to crypto, they have real world projects. You might think that it's just a digital currency. No, it's not just a digital currency. Now let's go to Google right now, and I'm gonna search Google of like what is a currency. Basically, I've been searching here. You can see that. So currency is a medium of exchange for goods and service. So basically, it's just a medium But in order for things to become a medium, it has to have value. Just like the same way I'm trying to explain to you that gold has value and this commodities has value. But then again, why does Bitcoin, why can you buy a Lamborghini with a Bitcoin, right? Why can you do that? And from here, just got confused. Okay, from there, basically, I'm gonna show you in a moment. So it's blockchain. First of all, it's blockchain, right? So let's talk about why cryptocurrency is a thing. Why is cryptocurrency? I'm just gonna Google this one. So cryptocurrency, sometimes called cryptocurrency or crypto, is any form of currency that exists digitally or virtually and uses cryptography to secure transactions. Now, cryptocurrencies don't have a central issuing or regulating authority. Instead, using a decentralized system to record transactions and issue new units. Okay, so why is crypto a thing? Here we are. Cryptocurrency allow for secure payments online, which are denominated in terms of virtual tokens, and they are represented by ledger entries. That's what you need to know basically. That's just like the summary of cryptocurrency. And that's the thing, okay? Blockchain, it's powered by blockchain. It's like that cobbler who was learning the skills of fixing sandals. Someone came in the Japanese known as Satoshi just came in and he was learning how can he fix payments. Okay, like just the way we are using banks to transfer our money from one place to another, there's a lot of fees in bank. Okay, and that was an issue. Can we go back in history when, I'm just gonna draw this on an auto draw. So now we're back in history, taking out my pen here. And do you remember when you used to send a mail back in like 20 years ago to people from one country to another? In between, it used to take like 30 days for one mail to reach from, let's say you're living in Asia right now. So this is first mail, and then you take 30 days to post a mail to USA, and then the receiver gets it, and this is the sender, and then that's the receiver right there. Okay. And people thought that that's just a very very long time. Okay, 30 days is a long time. Now if you were back in history, you would have thought like 30 days is okay, I'm cool with it, because that's just the beginning of mankind. But right now, as time is advancing, you're just gonna say 30 days to send a message? What the freaking hell, I'm gonna get divorced in 30 days. But the thing is, someone came in and he thought, let's fix the mail system. So they created something known as an email, right? So email came in, and then they actually brought the email. And how long does an email take actually? Just take 1 second, right? From 30 days to a whopping 1 second. Isn't that something that is a real world project? Isn't that something of a value? And people gave it value. People started saying, okay, that thing has a value. So if I said that I created an email, I have created one email, an email system basically, not an email, but the electronic mail system itself, the software itself, like Gmail. And I say that if you want to use it, you're going to have to pay me. You're going to have to pay me for the software, and you're going to have to pay $30. Okay, you're going to have to pay me $30 for using my software, and then it's up to you, whatever you want to do. Do you want to sell it again? Whatever you want to do, you can do it. So this software I'm just gonna call it, Adam Coin's email. Okay, so AC email. Now this is the software. Just believe that I've created this software right now, called Adam Coin's email, and that's my logo right now. Okay, and I'm gonna sell it for $30. And the real world project is what? That I'm replacing the old mail, and I'm just creating a new email. And this one, what's the benefit of it? Yeah, you took 30 days to send your mail from one place to another. You can write it through a computer, and then it's gonna take 1 second for the mail to go to the other person. And they're gonna be like, holy shit, really? Yeah, I'm gonna be, yeah, really. You say, how can you be serious? And say, yes, I'm serious. And then you buy it, and then boom, magic happens. So the value of the email software itself right now is $30. It is what? $30. So cryptocurrencies, I'm gonna take you to that direction of what I'm trying to talk right now. So we know that it has online secure transaction and can be mined. Humans valued it for its use case as a better payment system more than the typical old way of paper money like dollars and other stuff like that. So sending money digitally was really cool idea, and you don't have someone in between to actually hack your money, because the centralized banking systems could have been hacked. And now you've introduced Bitcoin and the use of Bitcoin. If you just go to the white paper right now, I'm just going to read the conclusion. We have proposed a system just like the electronic mail that I've told you right now. Why did we need the cryptocurrencies? We proposed a system for electronic transactions without relying on trust. Okay, we started with the usual framework of coins made from digital signatures, which provides strong control of ownership, but is incomplete without a way to prevent double spending. To solve this, we proposed a peer-to-peer network using proof of work to record a public history of transaction that quickly becomes computationally impractical for an attacker to change if honest nodes control majority of CPU power. Okay, the network is robust in its unstructured simplicity, blah blah blah. I'm just gonna tell you in simple words. Basically, that's just how the transaction is being done in the blockchain. Okay, so this blockchain computer is not limited to only one person, and not one person can control the whole thing. Like people say the whales and this and that. Like if it was one person controlling the Bitcoin, then Bitcoin would be just pumping and dumping. But it's just buyers and sellers stepping in between, which I'm going to actually come to. So let's go back to this email example, and let me tell you why trading just came in for cryptocurrencies and how we continue trading. So now let's say you bought this email software for $30. Now it's yours. It's not Adam Coins anymore. Okay, it's not my email anymore. Now it's your email, whatever your name is. Okay, so I'm just gonna say Mr. X right there. So from Adam Coins, it is being transferred to who? To you. Okay, this is how I'm transferring you. And even in term from AC, from Adam Coins right now, this went to Mr. X, and it went for how much? For $30, right? $30. And instead of email, let's say this was Bitcoin. Okay, it's just like you bought Bitcoin and you bought email. It's just like the same thing. But I'm just gonna continue with the email example and then clarify everything for you. So here we are. Mr. X has the email. Now you bought the email, and you're like an investor. Let's say you're an investor. You're a very very smart person, and you saw that I made something very very nice, and you're an entrepreneur, and you saw that this is a nice business idea. Oh yeah, Adam Coins made an email. I'm gonna buy for $30 and I'm gonna sell it for a lot of money, because Adam Coins is not smart business person, but I am. Yes, and you are. And congratulations, you took the email system from me, and now you can actually sell it to many people because you have a lot of customers and population is there, the volume is there. So what you're going to do is you're going to take the email software and you're going to start to market this email software, and then you're going to tell people to buy it. So what are you going to do? You're not going to sell it for $30. You're not going to sell it for $30. Let's say now you want to double, okay, and you want to sell it for $60. So the email itself, when it was when I created it, it had only worth of $0. Do you see that? $0 only. Okay, and since it's $0, when I sold it to you, I sold it for $30, right? So the value of this software was given by humans because of the use case. Just as I said it, humans valued the cryptocurrency because of a better payment system, right? Now this email or this Bitcoin, let's say the email, it's not the email anymore, but it's the Bitcoin. When I created Bitcoin, I created total, like I would say the email software, I have only 21 email software. Okay, so that's the supply. The supply is only 21, and I can sell the email software to only 21 people. How many is the demand? What's the demand? Mr. X is the demand. Only one person demanded for it. And one person set the price of it to $30. That's the first person who bought the software or who bought the Bitcoin, right? So now we know that Bitcoin is limited to $21 million. 21 million supply. Okay, there's only 21 million Bitcoin that can be mined, and until now there's like 18 million left potentially. And just think about it, when it's going to decrease and decrease and decrease, and the value just keeps growing and growing and growing. And that's the reason why I do believe that Bitcoin one day is going to still hit $1 million. Now, what Mr. X is going to do, he's going to sell it for $60 to the next person. Okay, now I'm going to stop until here, and I want to clear every single drawing right now. So let's go to the blank page. Now we know the value of Bitcoin is $60 from $30, right? From $30, from 0 to 30, now $60. Now Mr. X, he has a bad news. He hears that there's a bad news, and the bad news is that there is someone else selling the email software, but it's a little bit better. Or there's a critical bad news about Earth, and the fact that electricity is now an issue. And so if there's no electricity or computers, then why would people start to buy $60 email? Why would they buy it? So now Mr. X bought it for $30, and he wanted to sell it for $60, but he couldn't do it. So he didn't sell it for $60. What happened is that he ended up selling, he bought for $30, okay? And because of a bad news, he ended up selling it for $10. Okay, that's just like buying Bitcoin for $30 and then selling it for $10, because there was a problem. People were not interested in it. Simple, nothing else. But then who bought it for $10? Adam Coins. I got my thing back for $10. I got it back. Or let's say Mr. Y bought it. I'm sick and tired of using my name. Let's say someone, Mr. Y. Mr. Y bought it for $10, and he was very, very intelligent. He knew, he had a news that the electrical problem just went out for a little bit of time, and then in the future they're going to fix it, and it's going to come back. But Mr. X didn't know it, and he panic sold, and Mr. Y bought it for $10. And that's just very, very clever. Yeah, he was really, really clever to buy Bitcoin for $10 from $30. This guy panic sold it. Now I'm in profit. I made it for 0 and I sold it for $30. I'm still in profit, like 30x, right? Then Mr. Y decides that, now previously this was valued at $30, but now the value of Bitcoin, because Mr. Y bought it for $10, the value of Bitcoin is only $10. That's just how it is. Now Mr. Y makes a very, very successful sell, and he sells it to Mr. Z, and Mr. Z buys it for $100. Look at that, he bought it for $100 because the electricity is now back and everything is now back to normal. People on Earth are now happy and those kind of stuff. So that's just a very, very simple way of explaining to you how trading came into play. And people just traded like this, and that's just how humans valued Bitcoin. Do you understand that? That's just how human were, making trades between one another back to back. Right? So that's the reason why the prices fluctuate. They go up, they go down, they go up, they go down and up and sideways and downside and dumps and then pumps. And there is no reason. You do not know when it's going to pump. You do not know when it's going to dump. That's simple. But in order for us, because there is a chart that can tell you what's going on the charts, trading is what I want to teach you. That how can you recognize that it's a good time to buy when potentially buyers are now coming in, and when it's a good time to sell, that sellers are now stepping in, and when can you get to buy back again in a discount and then enter and then sell up when it goes. So that's the nature of it. And we do know that Bitcoin has 21 million supply of Bitcoin right now, and that's just how it continues to be splitted between people back to back again and again. So I'm pretty sure that this was an amazing explanation of how trading came into Earth, and how people went to dive into Bitcoin as well. And that's just how trading works. So the next thing that I'm going to talk about after this one is going to be a story, and I'm going to teach you when you're going to come into cryptocurrency, what kind of mindset do you need, okay, as a trader, basically, before we dive into the charts, and the mind that you are supposed to develop for you to be a good trader, when to buy and when to sell, and what the planning you should be doing is going to be discussed in the next story of this course series of, the pirate trader that I'm just continuing on right now. So peace until, and I'm going to see you in the next video.